Hey guys, another day, another edition of Sports Burst. Welcome into our Sports Burst studios, aka my house. Eric Krakauer is going to be joining us because we are talking just about everything. Juventus could clinch their 9th Serie A title in a row. We talk Cristiano Ronaldo's European golden shoe race. Is he going to get it 4 goals away? We chat that, and then we also grill Eric Krakauer on his take last show on Monday that he was on. He said that Lionel Messi hands down deserves to win the Ballon d'Or. We discussed this before hopping on the transfer train. We're going to talk the Premier League, Champions League hunt. We're also going to talk Unai Emery, new boss at Villarreal. Talk Álvaro Negredo. He has a new club. He's back in La Liga. All this and so much more. Sports Burst starts right now. So hello there again. This is a reminder that this is an interactive show, so comment below and we'll get to your comments throughout the show, as always. And on that note, I want to welcome in Eric Krakauer. Eric, we're going to begin in Italy with Juventus, who with a win today against Udinese can clinch their 9th Scudetto in a row. Unbelievable. What's your take?
Is it really that unbelievable? I think all the predictions were that they would win. I think this has a lot to do with Lazio, really, and the poor restart that they've had in Serie A. They were flying high until the suspension. They were really challenging Juve. There was a very legitimate title race. And then when they started falling by the wayside, Atalanta, with their incredible record, they won their first 6 games out of the gate. They were putting pressure on Juve as well, but Juve managed to get a draw against them and essentially kill the title race. Look, it's just another pragmatic season for the old lady. They didn't exactly play the sorry ball that was advertised when Maurizio Sarri moved from Chelsea, but they got it done, and Cristiano Ronaldo is in absolute scintillating form at the ripe old age of 55.
Disclaimer, he is not 55. Is that what you said? I heard 55. Okay, let's hit the comment section here. Before we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, that man that you just brought up there, Jorge Wolf Hurtado saying, good afternoon, everyone. Jorge Wolf Hurtado also saying, I'm a Barca fan, don't think Messi deserves the Ballon d'Or. We'll get to that chat after we talk exclusively Cristiano Ronaldo. Prisco Chapajong, hello, Prisco. CR7, the greatest. And that's where I want to take this conversation next. He's currently at 30 goals in 30 matches. We all know Lewandowski, who has had a scintillating season. He's at 34 goals, currently leading the European golden shoe race. Will Cristiano Ronaldo catch up to him? Just 4 goals. We know that Cristiano Ronaldo, when he puts something in his mind, and he's all about those individual prizes, he'll certainly want to catch up to Lewandowski. Do you think it's possible for him?
Oh, for sure, of course, especially considering the form that he's been in 2020. I mean, he's scoring a goal a game. I think it's 30 games in Serie A, 30 goals. So a goal a game, which isn't too different from what he was able to do at Real Madrid. In fact, he scored more goals than he had played games for Los Blancos. He's playing Udinese. Udinese today are fighting to survive in Serie A. So I think this could be a gimme for Juve, and knowing that he is just 4 goals away from Lewandowski, knowing that there are 4 games left in the regular season, and that he could win the first Golden Boot or Golden Shoe award since the 2014-2015 season, you know what that means. It means it's going to be raining shots from every direction because, like you said, Cristiano Ronaldo, when there is a record that he has to achieve and there's a chance to do it, he's going to put himself in the best position to break that record.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do, you know, if I was a betting woman, I definitely put my money there because we all know Cristiano Ronaldo's perseverance takes him to the highest of places. Brendan saying Dybala. Go ahead.
Sorry, Gab, and it's worth noting, I don't think he's just chasing Lewandowski. He's 6 goals away from Higuain's record a few seasons ago of 36 goals, and I think that's achievable. He could eclipse that. With 4 goals, 4 games left, he could hit the 37 mark. So 7 goals in 4 games is certainly not unthinkable for Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, especially taking into account how great he's been in this restart era, 9 goals since the restart alone, so he's definitely in form. Brendan Burns saying Dybala and Ronaldo both have been sensational, well-deserved title. I want your reaction to that, because we have seen an evolution. Dybala and Cristiano Ronaldo now, the chemistry is alive. They're playing very well alongside one another. Has that been one of the keys to Juventus's success this season?
For sure. Dybala has played one of the best seasons in the black and white stripes since he arrived from Palermo. And, you know, I've brought this up before, but it's crazy to think that at the beginning of the campaign, they were looking to offload him, which made absolutely no sense, considering that he's the kind of player who really has every attribute that Maurizio Sarri could take advantage of, and it's proving to be true. Playing in the hole, sometimes playing on the right side of that triad, that attacking trio, sometimes playing alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, but their understanding has really become sharper and sharper, and because of that, I think, despite being behind against Lyon, I think they have a really good chance of making it all the way to the final and maybe winning this tournament.
Yeah, and that's so interesting that you brought that up, because this was a Paulo Dybala that was heavily linked with the move to the likes of Manchester United, and he didn't take that move. He wanted to stay at Juventus. He wanted to fight for a starting 11 position, and he'll be happy that he did, because now he's someone that we talk about him wanting to pen a career-long contract with Juventus. He wants to make history in Turin, and so what an evolution that has been. I want to hit the comment section before we talk Ballon d'Or, because our people are already getting excited about that topic. I am too. Clayton Brown saying, LOL, Messi scores 51 goals with a double, and everybody says Modric deserves the Ballon d'Or. CR7 scores 37, possibly. He's Ballon d'Or worthy, LOL. Ooh, Clayton Brown, some salt in the air, I think, there. Anthony Romeo saying, I know, right? So agreeing with Clayton Brown there. Rafa Castorena saying Messi doesn't deserve it. Look at the train wreck he created at Barcelona this season. That is very rough, Rafa. Let's be real here. What is going on at Barcelona is not entirely Messi's fault. Zizou Sayed saying, actually no one said that Ronaldo got robbed that year. Speaking of the year that Luka Modric won it. Interesting. Lance Pimentel saying it's been alive all season. Sorry, doesn't play Dybala enough. Certainly Dybala is getting more starting time now than he definitely did a season or two ago. But let's talk Ballon d'Or. Eric Krakauer, at the end of our show on Monday, you said that Lionel Messi deserves to win the Ballon d'Or over the likes of Lewandowski, who is not only the top scorer in Europe at the moment, but won the Bundesliga title, already won a cup, and is now en route to the treble. Defend yourself.
Gab, why are you trying to rile up our audience? Because I did not say that. It was. I know. I did not say that. We were at the tail end of the show, and you asked me if there was a possibility that Lionel Messi could win, and I said absolutely there is a possibility that he could win. Not only because he scored 25 goals and racked up 20 or 21 assists, depending on which publication you believe, and the official numbers. Those are ridiculous numbers, and I think it needs to be stated that he carried Barcelona. Having said that, the caveat was
carried Barcelona to nothing.
Well, exactly, and the caveat to second place, and the caveat being here that he needs to win the Champions League. And considering how we've seen some of these votes, even though there won't be any because the Ballon d'Or has been canceled for this year, but considering what we've seen over the last few years and just how enamored people are with Lionel Messi, there's always a possibility that this guy is going to win the award. So I think he absolutely would be in the running, but it would depend greatly on what he did in the Champions League. And let me just say this, right? Because there's a lot of revisionist history, particularly when there were a lot of knives pointed at Ernesto Valverde. But when Barcelona made those runs into the quarters and the semis of the Champions League, when they lost to Roma and they lost to Liverpool, they were there mostly because of the exploits of Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi in that game at Anfield actually created a couple of goal-scoring opportunities that should have been taken by Luis Suarez and somebody else. So even though people look at those Champions League runs as Barcelona breaking down because apparently you have to win the Champions League every season if you're Barcelona, he played an integral part in getting them to that point. So the reason I'm mentioning that is because, yes, they still have to play Napoli, and then they'll play Bayern Munich more likely than not. But they can beat both those teams if Messi is playing well. That's just the reality.
Yeah, it is the reality. And the reality is also that even when he does play well, he's not enough to lead Barcelona to everything, as we've seen the past season, because they have absolutely no titles to their name at the moment, and he's had a sensational season, as everyone in our comment section is saying, and he's broken assist records and hit double digits in both goals and assists, double digits in the 20s, that is, the first time since Thierry Henry did it back in the day. So, I mean, yeah, this is a Lionel Messi who's been definitely on form, but it's not enough. And my question to you is, I'm going to pose a hypothetical situation. Lionel Messi does not win, Barcelona do not win the Champions League, but neither does Lewandowski. Let's say that PSG win the Champions League, okay? PSG win the Champions League, Lewandowski wins what he has already won, and Lionel Messi wins and has the broken records that he already has. Who should have won the Ballon d'Or for you in that situation?
Out of those two, Lewandowski, without a doubt. I think he scored something like 51 goals in 43 games this season, so he would be my pick, and he is the player who is going to be the most hurt by France Football's decision not to have the award this season, and I still don't know. I'm sort of torn about this. I still don't know whether it was the right decision from France Football. You could have an asterisk alongside his name, for example, but this was his big chance to get that award, and I don't think he'll get it again. Maybe so, because Hansi Flick has really revitalized that team, and he's managing them to play some of the best football in Europe. But between the two, Robert Lewandowski, because Bayern Munich wins the title, they win the cup, and even though in your hypothetical, they don't win the Champions League, his goal-scoring prowess in this Champions League campaign has been magnificent.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. I definitely would hand it to Lewandowski. Lance Pimentel agreeing. He's saying Levy 2020. Love that. Lance Pimentel also saying it depends on Cristiano Ronaldo's last games. A lot of people saying, yeah, this is the Eric Krakauer that said that Piqué was the best defender in La Liga. Ooh, some heat for you, Eric.
Yeah, you know what? That's not actually what I said, and if you want to rewind, I picked him over Ramos because I said everybody's going to say Ramos, so I'm going to be picking Piqué. I also picked Gerard Moreno instead of Karim Benzema, right? So what I was giving was sort of an
just to be different, you picked the player that doesn't deserve to be the best. Well, sort of. To be, alternative picks I think are important to talk about as well, because very often people either get maligned because their team doesn't achieve what they're supposed to achieve, or players are not paid attention to because of the teams they play for. So in the case of Gerard Moreno, he plays for Villarreal, but his season was astounding. Barcelona had a lot of defensive hiccups this season, and that's the reason they didn't win the title. But I'll tell you what, if it weren't for Piqué, they'd be in a worse situation because he was so good. Did he make a couple of high-profile mistakes? Absolutely. But who doesn't? And it also depends on the system and who you're playing alongside. Ramos played in a system that benefited him. He was fantastic, and also he was the
somebody
best defender in La Liga this season.
Yeah, I think you can make that argument 100%. There's no doubt, right? Especially if you consider the goals and the leadership that he brought post-COVID suspension. If Real Madrid managed to turn that game around against City, which will be very difficult, and they win the Champions League, I think Ramos is the guy who's going to get the Ballon d'Or, and I don't think anybody would make an argument against it. But I will say this about soccer fans and soccer viewers and the divided fans that we have in our comment section, because if you say something good about Barcelona, then you are a Barca fan. If you say something good about Real Madrid, then you're a Real Madrid fan. I'm looking at you, John Ice. I read your comment, and I know that you're in here somewhere. Okay, so I'm calling you out because I get called out all the time, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think that when we look at the game holistically, anybody who tells me that Piqué didn't have a very good season simply doesn't know what he's talking about. It's that simple. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the argument was not that Piqué didn't have a great season. It's that he was not the best defender in La Liga this season. But I understand your take, and we value you giving us different players and different perspectives that aren't the mainstream picks, because that's how everyone gets educated, and that's how everyone knows that Gerard Moreno had an absolutely phenomenal season, and a light should be shined on the top scorer Spanish striker in the league. Okay, we are going to get to Villarreal in just a bit, but we're going to shift gears here before we get back to Spain and hop on the transfer train and talk all the transfers, because there's a new man in charge at Villarreal, and we definitely want to get to that. Let's talk the Premier League. Liverpool lifted the Premier League title, the trophy yesterday officially. This after a very exciting match with Chelsea. They did walk away with a 5-3 win. Did you watch that match? Did you watch the trophy ceremony? What was your reaction to watching all that?
I did. I watched the match because Pulisic has been in scintillating form. I was surprised he didn't start. And it turned out to be just a really, really good game that both showed why Liverpool is the champion and why Chelsea, although they've played really well, are going to have a hard time competing against better opposition because they're so leaky at the back. And I needed to watch that historic moment of Liverpool lifting the title, because I was a youngin the last time that they did that. It's just a little sad that you don't have the raucous Anfield supporters sort of being there.
Yeah, it definitely is sad, and you hit on something that I want to talk about in just a bit, which is Chelsea and that back line and their movement in the transfer window thus far. A lot of Chelsea fans concerned that Chelsea are focused on the front line, with Kai Havertz now looking to be the next target and the next player who's going to put pen to paper on a new deal with Chelsea, and not a lot of concentration on the back line, which has seen them concede 54 goals in the Premier League this season, which is a very concerning number. Do you think that they need to be focused more heavily on a goalkeeper and on a new center back?
Absolutely, and I have no idea why they're going for Kai Havertz, as magnificent a player as he is, but they've already got Ziyech, who plays a very similar position. Mason Mount has been terrific this season, one of the standouts in the Premier League and one of the surprises of the Premier League. They've already got Timo Werner, so where are you going to put all these players? Defensively, it's the issue. Reece James looks like the right back of the future for Chelsea, so he'll remain there. They need one or two center backs, and they need a left back. Marcos Alonso, very good in a five-defender back line, in the wing back position, but in a four-man back line, he just isn't very good, and you saw that in Oxlade-Chamberlain's goal, that counter-attack, where he just forgot that there was going to be somebody on his blind side. So they definitely need to tighten up the back with new signings.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, and there is a goalkeeper on their radar, or two, or three. The big one is Jan Oblak, who we know very well from La Liga Santander, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, hands down. There's no disputing that. But I think it would be a difficult task to pry him away from Madrid. Chelsea and Manchester United are reportedly now interested in Jan Oblak. We'll get to that transfer rumor in just a bit. I do want to get quickly, before we move on and fully hop on the transfer train, because that's where the people want us to go. What is your top 4 Premier League prediction? Who finishes in those Champions League spots on Sunday for you, Eric?
Oh, it's going to be Manchester United and Chelsea.
Really? So United get the job done with a win against Leicester City?
Yeah, I think so. Leicester have been in free fall. I just don't understand what's happened to Leicester, to be very honest. Brendan Rodgers slipping up the same way as he slipped up with Liverpool when they looked like they could have gotten the title a few years ago. But you know, they don't have the same kind of squad as Manchester United or Chelsea, so I think those two go through.
Yeah, were you a little bit concerned, though, at what you saw in Manchester United yesterday? They didn't look like the team who are 13 matches unbeaten in the Premier League yesterday, and this now heading into their most important match of the season, which is that clash against Leicester City.
Yeah, no, not impressive at all. It looked like everybody was playing in third gear, but I think that if they play to the level that they've shown that they're able to since the restart, then I think they should win at King Power Stadium. The harder game is going to be for Chelsea, who play against Wolverhampton, who is a team that performs really well against the top 6. So they could be in trouble there. But I think they're going to manage to squeeze out a point, and Manchester United will get a win against Leicester.
And since we are 2 Portuguese people speaking about Manchester United, let's give love to the man who deserves all the love for Manchester United's current form, Eric, please.
Bruno Fernandes is an exceptional player. Look, I've been saying it all along, talking about how the price tag just simply wasn't enough for the player that he is, and he's proven that.
And the leader that he is. This is a man who is, I think, within a very short time frame going to be Manchester United captain. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He already is, just without the armband.
Exactly. Yeah, precisely. All right, let's hop on the transfer train. This is what the people want to talk to and talk about. So we'll talk to you about it. Jan Oblak linked with Chelsea and Manchester United now. Do you see him going anywhere? Do you see him leaving Atletico Madrid, Eric? And if so, which of the two clubs would you advise he go to?
I don't, but it's certainly a possibility. Atletico Madrid have already said that they will have, whichever club comes in for him is going to have to meet his release clause of 120 million. And that is a price tag that I think Manchester United can certainly activate. But given what we've heard from their brass, they're not willing to do so. But De Gea just continues to make mistakes. And out of those two clubs, if I'm Oblak, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to get paid probably more money at Manchester United. Their rebuild is further ahead. It seems like things are stabilizing there, and I don't necessarily want to compete with Kepa Arrizabalaga, which is a really interesting case because the most expensive goalkeeper, I'm not saying he's going to compete with him, but the fact that he is there, I think it becomes a little bit of a deterrent for sure for Oblak. And I'll say this, Oblak said at the beginning of this season that if Atletico Madrid's ambitions did not meet his own, that he would leave. And let's see what happens in the Champions League. I think they're meeting them, but he wants to win silverware.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on. I mean, I think his sentiments at the beginning of the season have probably evolved from what we've seen as of late with this new look Atleti, who are firing on all cylinders and have looked like they found their form under Diego Simeone. Diego Simeone did always call this a transition year, so we knew that this year would be a little bit rough. We didn't expect it to be quite as rough, but they really have turned it around in the second half of the season, especially since the restart. So I think that Oblak will be happy with what he's seeing with this Atletico Madrid team. But a lot of the reports say that Kepa would be going the other way if an Oblak or a Ter Stegen or an Onana would come to Chelsea. Where would you like to see Kepa? Because this is a man who's probably lost quite a bit of confidence under Frank Lampard and at Chelsea. A lot of tension between the manager and the player. What do you make of his situation? And would you advise that he stay or should he just go?
Well, look, if they're going to bring somebody in, you'd think that they're going to offload him just because of the wages that he's on, and obviously they don't believe he has a future there. I thought that people on Twitter, and I know that's, you got to take that with a pinch of salt, were a little bit too critical of his performance against, who did they play yesterday? Against Liverpool yesterday. I don't think he could have done anything in those goals. Maybe the Oxlade-Chamberlain one, but he does get his hand on it. But look, I think we're finding out that he's not the quality of player if you take the price tag into consideration. I mean, look at Alisson, for example. I think it was 20 million less, and he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where he goes. I really have no idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no one really does. So that's why we call this silly season. Let's move on, though, because we do know something for sure. We do know that Unai Emery is Villarreal's new manager, the ex-Arsenal man who has been unemployed. Let's put it simply. He's been unemployed since he was sacked by Arsenal in November, is now the new boss at Villarreal. I find this to be a very interesting appointment. I spoke about this with George Gimentalis yesterday on the show. It's now official this morning, a 3-year contract. This is a very ambitious pickup from Villarreal. Villarreal, really, when you look at Unai Emery's track record, the king of the Europa League, this is the best manager on the market that I think they could attract. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. And look, a lot of people are going to look at his results at Arsenal and think that he's not good enough. I've always liked Unai Emery very much. I don't think he was backed at Arsenal like Arteta is right now. He was never given license to clean house. He is a guy who is very ambitious, and I think that Villarreal have a pretty good roster, and considering that they're going to compete in Europe, they're going to bring in a few important players. I'm sad that Santi Cazorla is not going to be at the club, so they're going to need somebody to plug up that hole. But look, he's a guy who's got a track record in Spain, and one of the issues that really plagued him at Arsenal he wasn't able to translate his ideas in his English, and stupidly a lot of people mocked that, right? They mocked his accent. So I think he's back in Spain, where he's got a great track record, not only with Sevilla, but with Valencia and Almeria as well, and I think he's going to do very well.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. What do you say to the people who now say that Villarreal are Europa League favorites next season?
I mean, I think they certainly, any La Liga team is a favorite in the Europa League, for sure, because the league has tremendous quality.
Hashtag duh. Is that all you're going to say? You should say, yeah, they're totally the favorites, because Unai Emery all
totally
he knows
the
how to
favorites.
do is win the Champions League. All right, last but not
Totally
least,
the
because
favorites.
we have been given the 30-second warning, I want to talk about an interesting transfer. Álvaro Negredo to Cádiz. He's returning to La Liga Santander. 20 seconds, Eric, your thought on that move.
I love it. He's a veteran. He's a proven goal scorer. And look what Roberto Soldado did for Granada. That is what Negredo will do for Cádiz.
And by the way, Roberto Soldado has put pen to paper on an extension with Granada, so we're going to see him in the Europa League with Granada. Absolutely love that. And on that note, we're going to say ciao to all of you. Thanks for joining this latest edition of Sports Burst. This is a reminder that you can catch the Coupe de France final tomorrow, live and exclusively on beIN Sports. PSG taking on Saint-Étienne, 3 o'clock.